What's going on, good people? Rich here.
It's your girl Ray P here. And if you are watching, before I welcome you to the Culture Garden podcast, I have to let y'all know that we are joined by a living legend, a podcast extraordinaire, aficionado, pioneer, one of the ones who got me and Rich started, quiet as it's kept. We are inspired by her. We love her, not just the wave, but literally the frequency. Part one and two. We got Portia Renee on the Culture Garden. What's going on, P?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yo.
Let's go.
Yo. Thank you for
See?
that.
See?
I have never been talked about like that for real. Thank you.
Our girl.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Ray P, it's so good to see you. Rich, it's always good seeing you. But Ray P, oh my God. Like ever since I have known you, you have just been like nice and like real and like, I don't know. Your energy just makes me smile. I'm so happy to be on here with y'all.
It's a love fest, guys.
Yes. That was a hell of an intro, man.
So highly.
Hell of an intro. I think it's official. Rachel has officially surpassed me when it comes to introductions. She has the crown now. She has the crown now. I will tell everyone out there the highlight of my day. It is 8:15 Eastern Standard Time in the PM, and the highlight of my day was when Portia logged on and the excitement of her face when she saw Rachel and just seeing them two interact. Obviously, especially if you just listened to our school days episode, it's well known that Rachel and myself met in college, went to college together. Portia was also part of that same class at the University of Toledo. So there's a lot of history here in the building right now. And it's very exciting just to see the joy and the love that's here. And I'm excited to get into this
a different type of energy. I wasn't ready for this.
That's what we like to do.
Yes.
You know what? We shout out to J Hud. You know what I mean? Because J Hud, if you've been watching her show, the energy that's brought when the guests are walking to the couch. You know what I mean? You have no choice but to kind of get into it. No matter what kind of day you were having, when you turn that corner, you see them just hyping you. It's gonna turn you up a little bit, you know. And that's hopefully we bring that same type of energy for the Culture Garden. But Portia, can't say it enough, and I'm sure we'll say it many other times. It's a pleasure to be here. I've said this on, Portia's been, I guess you can deem, we officially knighted her as a portion of Another Week in the Books. She's going to be on at least once a month on the podcast that I do with Spike Lee. Absolutely. But I've said this on that. I've said it's stirring the pot for sure. Big ass spoon. Big ass spoon. But I said this on that podcast. For those who don't know, my very first time ever recording anything or ever being asked to record anything was back in 2015. Portia has a podcast called The Frequency. And she is restarting that. So it's been cool, kind of full circle moment to where my very first time even thinking about podcasting was on her show. And she got out of it for one reason or another, her own reasons. And when Spike Lee and myself invited her on Another Week in the Books for, like I said, that full circle moment of just getting, like, knocking the dust off the microphone and kind of feeling like, oh, yeah, I still love this. And now revamping The Frequency. And first episode actually is out by the time you listen to this podcast. So we'll post it on the Culture Garden Instagram page with the link. I'm just very excited to see you. There's nothing better than seeing people do what they're meant to do. And it's just really cool to see you hop back into space, Portia. Like real shit. Rachel months ago, Rachel and myself were just randomly talking. And she was like, man, I really want to do an episode with Portia. I want to do an episode with Portia. I'm like, bet, let's do it. And we had some conversations, Portia. If you remember months ago, I was DMing you about movies. I'm still weak at the movie you chose, and I can't wait to do it. We will get to that. But I know we get to this part usually later in the episode, but I might as well say it now. Why this movie? Well, as long as I've known Portia, I know that she loved Bad Santa. And it was just the perfect time to kind of put the two and two together. Like I said, we have been recording a couple times in the past month on Another Week in the Books, just kind of keeping that flow going. I knew she loved Bad Santa. I know I love Bad Santa. I know School loved Bad Santa. Shout out to School, who's under the weather right now, so he couldn't join us.
Feel better soon, player.
Absolutely, man. But we holding it down. So it was a perfect time to get Portia on the podcast and talk about this film. Before we get started even further, as Rachel said, we just want to thank everybody for joining us. This is the official last episode of 2024. As you all know, we take the last week of the quarter off. The last week of the quarter is going to be technically Christmas week. And then we'll start back up with an episode, I believe, on the 2nd of January. So we have some big things coming. Please do not forget, we got y'all. We got y'all is back.
We got y'all's back. We told y'all we got y'all was coming back, and we didn't lie this time like we did last time.
Yeah.
What show y'all doing?
The Agency on Showtime and Paramount Plus. So tap in, let us know.
Yeah, and there's going to be 3 more shows between now and spring that we already know we're doing. So it's going to be a busy season. So please make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend who enjoys television to go check us out over there. I also subscribe to this feed. Shout out to Childish Grownups. They did another episode that like I said, I think it's pretty cool when you hear a different perspective on something we've already discussed. So they're in their Christmas season over there. They just released Home Alone. So please check them out over there. I post their information on our page. And yeah, there will be spoilers and explicit content, but this film really ain't for that. It ain't that deep. We are here to talk about, as you can see in the title, Bad Santa, the synopsis of this film. A miserable con man and his partner pose as Santa and his little helper to rob department stores on Christmas Eve. Of course, my notes just went away. All right. But they run into problems when the con man befriends a troubled kid. I talked about why we chose this movie, just the perfect way to kind of wrap up this Christmas season and make sure we had Portia on the episode with us. As far as the stats go, this film was released in theaters November 26, 2003. The fact that this film is 21 years old is insane, but it is. It was directed by Terry Zwigoff. He directed Ghost World. He actually was nominated for an Oscar in the writing department for that film, if anybody's seen it. It was written by the duo Glenn Ficarra and John Sequa. We have actually discussed them on this show before. They both wrote Bad News Bears, but they also wrote Focus, which we had an episode on, which is low-key one of my favorite episodes.
It's low-key good.
Yeah, Focus is a good episode. The one with Will Smith. Portia's, that's Portia's homie. We also talked about them another time because they both directed Crazy Stupid Love, which Rachel and myself covered on this podcast as well. And they've also directed 7 episodes of This Is Us.
One of my favorite shows.
Yep. So, and the Coen brothers, the world-renowned Coen brothers, infamous directors, they were executive producers on the show. We'll talk a little bit, or on this film, we'll talk a little bit more about them in the origin. The film had a budget of an estimated $23 million and made $76.4 million worldwide, $12.5 million opening weekend. It opened at number 6 in the box office, behind Cat in the Hat, The Haunted Mansion, Elf. Elf was actually in his 4th week of release. Yeah, so Elf will next Christmas. You back on for Elf next Christmas. We're gonna talk about it. Gothica and Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World. It was in theaters for 17 weeks from November 28th until March, and it stayed in the top 10 for the first 6 weeks, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. For a film to debut at number 6 and still stay top 10 for 6 weeks is actually pretty incredible. So it was a word of mouth type of film. And it's currently streaming on Paramount Plus and Pluto TV. Awards, I just want to mention this real quick. As silly and goofy as this movie is, it stars 3 Oscar winners.
Yeah.
Really?
Billy Bob Thornton. Okay. Saying star might be a stretch because you had a very, very, very you had 15 seconds of Octavia Spencer.
And
then also Cloris Leachman, who plays the grandma. She won an Oscar in 1972 for Best Supporting Actress. So you actually had some heavy hitters, and it's funny just because it's silly as hell and makes 0 sense. But there were 12 nominations and 1 win. Bernie Mac was nominated for a BET Award for Best Actor. We've already mentioned before, BET Awards take your entire year and combine all your performances. So it was this film, Bernie Mac Show, and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. And believe it or not, Billy Bob Thornton was nominated for a Golden Globe. Best performance by an actor in a comedy or musical. He lost to Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. Rachel, what you laughing at? He was nominated for a Golden Globe?
For this?
Hey, man, listen. He made this movie.
Oh, okay.
Right, P.
I love it. I love when Rachel do a hate watch. We're gonna get into the cast. We're gonna get into the cast real quick. We're gonna get into the cast real quick and continue the conversation. I just mentioned Billy Bob Thornton as Willie Soak. Question for both of y'all.
Mhm.
Rachel, this really might be a question for Portia, because I don't know how much of Billy Bob you watch in the comedic sense. I don't know if anybody plays an asshole, an irritated asshole, better than Billy Bob Thornton. If you've ever seen Bad News Bears, if you've ever seen Mr. Woodcock, if you've ever seen School of Scoundrels, like that dickhead, natural, you can't teach it. I don't know who does it better than him. I'm sure there's some nominees, but I don't know. What's up, Rachel? What's up? I'm gonna keep that. That's gonna be the phrase of the episode. What's up?
To see what these facial expressions is about over here.
All I can think about Billy Bob is kissing Angelina Jolie
on the red carpet. We just fucked in the limo.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got for Billy Bob.
There's a lot of people who don't even know what that moment is. I thought you were gonna go to Monsters Ball and Halle Berry, but
while I enjoyed somebody making me feel good, no.
Yeah, the Angelina Jolie, that's an all-timer. YouTube it, boys and girls. YouTube it.
That was the MTV Movie Awards or something when they did that?
Yeah, on the red carpet.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely remember. All time. If you're of our generation, you know exactly what we're talking about. Before YouTube, before social media, it was just live TV, and you can catch people wilding out.
That's it.
Billy Bob Thornton was genuinely intoxicated for moments of this filming.
I could see
genuinely intoxicated. Absolutely, the escalator fall scene. Yeah, the escalator fall scene. He really passed out and fell. Like that wasn't acting. He said, I think he had drank 3 for breakfast. He had drank 3 glasses of wine, had maybe a couple things of vodka. Listen, he was just living a life. And
he was a character.
I would say, is this method acting or was he like not okay?
I don't know. I meant to look that up.
It's a little bit of both. Because wasn't he kind of like, wasn't Billy Bob known for being on some stuff?
Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not 100% sure, but it's Billy Bob Thornton. That's kind of his personality, and that's the thing with acting. And it's funny because check out The Agency on Showtime. When we got y'all this past episode, Rachel and myself, because it talks about spies and espionage, and we were just talking about how they have to slip in and out of character because of the line of their profession, working for the CIA, being different identities, and just snap of a finger, I'm gonna stop being myself and be this person or that person. I always look at actors the same way. Actors are the same way. They really sometimes think you can lose track of who you are and where you are in life and the whole nine. I'm not sure if Billy Bob just has these type of things. But yeah, I think he was. I'm trying to look it up right now. I don't know if there's any alcoholism, but we'll do an edit on it later.
Yeah. Now that you say that about actors, I'll agree with you. I think you might have to be a little bit crazy to truly take on and embody these roles. Especially if you're a method actor and you stay in that character once they yell cut. Yeah, I think something might be a little bit wrong with you.
Hey man, listen.
But shout out to the arts.
Shout out to the arts for sure. But he was really living that life. He said too, I think in his autobiography or somewhere he had mentioned if he could go back to any part of life and just live it again, it would be like during this time of this film. He had another film that came out the year after in 2004. I can't remember the title. And he said back in 1979 when he was working for the Arkansas State Highway Patrol. Like those are the 3 moments that if he could go back, he would relive. So that tells you everything you need to know, I suppose, about Billy Bob. Who else is in this film? We have Tony Cox as Marcus Skidmore, or Santa's little helper. Lauren Graham as Sue. Now, Lauren Graham is Santa's wife's sister. She's never referred to as Sue in this film. So if you're wondering who the hell Sue is, that's who that is. Lauren Graham.
Santa's wife's sister?
That's what Billy Bob was calling. Fuck me, Santa, fuck me, Santa, fuck me, Santa. That's
okay. Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, that was Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never seen an episode. Brett Kelly as Thurman Merman. John Ritter, the late great John Ritter as Bob Chapeska. This was his last film, and the film was dedicated to him. Bernie Mac, once again, legend, late great, going way too soon. Rest in peace to Bernie. He was Jen Slagle. Tom McGowan. I'm only shouting him out because he's in this movie called Heavyweights that came out in like 95. It's a Disney movie. Ben Stiller's in it. Keenan Thompson's in it. Like a lot of those Disney kid, whatever, man. He played Pat in that movie. That's one of my favorite movies ever. So he's the Santa that got fired.
Yeah.
Like I said, he was only in the film for 30 seconds, but I just had to shout him out. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, Octavia Spencer had 15 seconds, but that's Octavia Spencer. So we got to mention her. Shout out to her. She played Nola. Portia, you're a guest. I'm going to ask you this first.
Yes.
Is this in the movie poster Hall of Fame? When you look at the poster of this film, do you put it in the Hall of Fame of movie posters? I love the deep thought.
So I'm trying to remember the actual movie. I'm gonna say how serious
we take things over here.
I'm gonna say yes.
You think it's in the movie poster? All right. So Portia's vote is yes. Ray P?
No.
It's a recognizable poster. I enjoy it. I don't think it's in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Everything, unfortunately, can't be in the Hall of Fame. We reserve it for, Set It Offs and things like that. Above the Realms, all of those kind of films. Those are what? Set It Off is a classic.
No, I'm playing.
Oh, okay. All right. You see,
no, but I will say before we go further, y'all are like truly the experts. I'm not like a movie person.
That's fair.
So in my Hall of Fame, because it ain't too many posters in it. It's gonna go. But if you going with Set It Off and all of that, I'm a roll. Then I'm gonna take mine out. I'm
okay. Nah, you keep yours. This is yours. This is your official listing.
Okay.
Bad Santa's in your Hall of Fame. Bad Santa's in your Hall of Fame.
Yes.
You see Rachel pulled. If you watch on YouTube, Rachel pulled the braids back when she talked. Set It Off. What?
I Set It Off.
Yeah, shout out to Set It Off, man. Another classic episode, in my opinion. Another question for you, Portia. Is this film classic or not?
It's definitely a classic.
Rachel?
Right here, we gotta talk.
Okay. Pop culturally relevant and significant. For me, a Ray P classic, no. But if I just go with the masses, yes.
So it's a classic for sure. I think it's more of a crude comedy classic than a Christmas classic. I think if you just want to watch some crude comedy and just get weak, I consider it that. But everybody does watch it every Christmas. I watch this every Christmas. So maybe I take that back.
I do. It's
like this movie's
Home Alone 2, Bad Santa.
Okay.
In that order.
I have not seen Bad Santa since like 2005.
Oh, so this is your first time watching it in a minute.
What?
So that means
what? The longest hour and a half of my life. Are you crazy?
So what this means is this is Rachel's second time in her life watching this film, probably.
Third.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Right.
Hold on, we're gonna get into it. Hold on. We're gonna get into this conversation. Let's talk about the origin of the film, and we gotta talk. All right. So I'm gonna talk about the origin, how this film came about. The Coen brothers, as I mentioned, world renowned. They developed the idea for the script, right? They didn't write the script, but they developed the overall concept. Like, we just want this foul-mouthed, fucked up Santa, and they ended up hiring Fakara and Rekwa to write the screenplay, and they gave them the concept. They wrote the script, and the Coen brothers pretty much added the jokes. All right, so you write the actual script, we're gonna add the jokes, we're gonna make it work, and it makes sense because this film, it feels like multiple people had their hands in trying to make it. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get to that here shortly when we talk more in detail about our personal feelings about the film. Mm-hmm. They tried to sell it to Universal, but Universal said, and I quote, "It was the foulest, disgusting, misogynistic, anti-Christmas, anti-children thing we could imagine." So, of course, that prompted Miramax to buy it immediately and put it out, and it made a ton of money. I just want to say this for the record. Miramax was being ran by Harvey Weinstein at the time, so it made sense that he wanted something that's filthy and dirty. I think Bob Weinstein was more so ahead of this, but guilty by association. You kind of know how that works.
Don't say anything.
But that
that
quote and knowing who did it, it just kind of, I'm just saying. And he was quick to go ahead and put it out. Made a lot of money though, so shout out to them. The original casting for this film, all right, it was the people considered for this role. James Gandolfini is Willie, the late great James Gandolfini. Everybody should know him as Tony Soprano, playing the role of Willie.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Mo. I know he's out there listening. Shout out to Good Earners. Danny Woodburn is Marcus. So Danny Woodburn, you might not know him if you've ever seen the movie Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Once again, shout out to Childish Grown Ups. He is one of the Belushi brothers. Is like the shady Santa.
Okay.
Yes, he's the shady Santa, and he has a little helper as well. That's him. So he was going to play the role of Marcus. And then also it was Angus T. Jones as Thurman. He was supposed to be the kid in this film. And Angus T. Jones, if you don't know, he's the kid from 2.5 Men. Yep.
Okay.
So that was the original casting and who they thought was going to be in this film. Bill Murray, Jack Nicholson, and Robert De Niro were also considered for the role of Willie.
I can see Bill Murray.
See Robert.
So all right, Rachel say Bill, Portia says Robert. I'm leaning more towards Robert. I can see Jack Nicholson really doing it, but Jack Nicholson's such a great actor. That's a different movie.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna take it to that whole nother, and when I say whole nother level, this film doesn't need that. So I don't know how it's gonna look. I think Billy Bob kind of got it and he nailed it. So I was gonna ask you what your opinions were of those actors. Matter of fact, Jack Nicholson really wanted to do this. Like he got the script first and really wanted to do it, but he had already committed to Something's Gotta Give.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
So he had already committed to that film, so he couldn't do this. But had he not committed, he would have 100% jumped on Bad Santa. The Coen brothers did not like Tony Cox, who plays Marcus. They did not envision him as Marcus. And they also didn't like the kid who played Thurman Merman. They really wanted more of like a Disney type kid. And it kind of led to some disagreements and some, I want to say animosity. That might be a little bit too deep. Tension might be a little bit too deep. But between the director and the Coen brothers, because the director pretty much said, no, I'm hiring these guys because this is a comedy and they're funny. Yeah. And that's the whole point of this. And that's what came of it. And obviously, like I said, it made a ton of money. It was filmed between July and September of 2002. And there was a sequel that was released in 2016. Portia and myself actually saw that sequel back in 2016.
And I cannot remember it for real.
I do not remember. That's the only time I watched the sequel.
Huh? That's the only time.
That's the only time I watched it. I haven't watched it since.
Yeah.
I know it didn't do as well. It was a flop. It made money, don't get me wrong, but compared to this movie, and I've said this plenty of times. Listen, if you're making sequels 13 years later, it better be Best Man Holiday.
That's it. It better be good.
It better be good. The only one that I can't think of another sequel that far of a gap. That's that good. So it is what it is. And even Best Man Holiday wasn't the greatest movie, but it's a very, very good sequel for as much time has passed.
Yeah. Final Chapters redeemed it.
Absolutely. Final Chapters definitely redeemed it. So we got to talk about this. Rachel, we're going to start with you because we got to know.
Yes, please.
We always talk about first experiences and questions that you may have about the film. Rachel, you haven't watched this film since 2005 when we all met.
Yes. Full circle moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we all met. What's up, man? What was your first experience like? What's your beef with the film?
My first experience is I saw this in the theaters.
Really?
I did. See, I was real back then. But so I saw this in the theaters and I remembered liking it. I said, oh, that was good. When Kieron told me the movie for this week, I said, oh, I loved Bad Santa.
Okay.
So from 2003 to 2005, maybe I had seen it twice. And then I watched it twice to try to pull some notes to record. It's the longest hour and 31 minutes of my life. Oh, God. It was dreadful. I'm like, okay. Oh. Okay. Well.
Really?
What do you think it was? So what was it that didn't pull you in? Was it just Go ahead.
So I don't do crude, but it didn't feel too crude. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. I don't know. It just wasn't. It just didn't age well to me. And I'm not even no crazy ass. You can't say that now because I still be saying some things. But but I don't know. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why? Just why? That's all I got. Just why? We're gonna have good conversation, but why? What's wrong with you? You fucking pissing? Why did nobody call the police? Like, none of y'all. This nigga pissed. The kids here. Nobody said, "Hey, get that nigga out of here." Like, what the fuck? Hello?
Hey, pissing.
I don't have no answer.
Yeah, ain't nothing to say.
This nigga was peeing on himself at 50.
And pulled out
children.
I think that's what makes it great.
That's what
all
makes
these
it great.
parent ass parents, and not one thought to call the people.
They took the picture.
Get what you pay for it.
You definitely get what you pay for. You goddamn right.
Perfect. All right, cool. All right, Portia, we got to flip it to you, Portia. Do you remember your first experience with this film, and why do you love the film so much?
So my first, you said it came out in 2003?
Yep, November 2003. So this was our first semester of junior year of high school.
Yeah, didn't see it then. So I wasn't introduced to Bad Santa until we were, I think.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was my first semester junior high school, because there's no way Portia and Rachel are the same age as me. They're much younger.
Oh yeah, I calculated that. I was just gonna let you roll.
Yeah. My first year, not theirs. My year. My bad, y'all. My bad.
I was in college and I didn't pay the cable bill. And it was hard times in college. So it was ramen noodles. And so
this when you in Old Town?
Yeah. And Bird, shout out to Bird. She was like, I got this DVD collection. She had like the mattress cover with all the DVDs in there.
Man, what?
And I pulled it out and I was hooked on it ever since then. And we watched it over and over and over. It was that and Cat Williams stand up. That and Cat Williams. So that is my Bad Santa.
What was it that how did you not get caught in the rapey realm of, oh, I liked it, it was cool, I'm not gonna watch it for 15 years? Like, what was it about it that made you keep coming back and made it a favorite and a staple?
Because it was so stupid. Like
shit.
The quotables to this day, I will quote Bad Santa. Like, he's back there drunk. Like, I don't know, it was just a good time. And I think I like Christmas movies that aren't family based, if that makes sense. Home Alone, he was by himself. Bad Santa, Thurman Merman was by himself. Like, I just like those for some reason.
I get it. I definitely understand. So it's funny. I don't remember my first time watching this. I know it was in 2003. I know it was around that time. If it was in the theaters, I would have remembered that. So I don't believe it was then. But I was the target demographic for this film. 16 years old, a month and a half away from 17, immature high school, well, not immature, but childish high school student that laughed at anything that was crude and anything of that nature. So I was the perfect person for this film. And it's funny because even now, especially when you live the fuck them kids lifestyle, it's even funnier to a certain degree, because there's a certain level of annoyed that I can really relate to, and that you don't think about really until you get around, because kids are really innocent and they don't know. And if you don't have kids, so if you're like Willie in this movie and you don't have kids, you're not used to the question after question after question. So when you get hit with it, I see his response like, bruh, what the fuck is you on? Like, are you fucking with me?
Are you
like? I got multiple moments that he's just nailed the annoy, especially as Santa. And it's just hilarious. The movie's stupid. It makes zero sense. It's so far-fetched. A lot of this shit, like you said, Ray, if Santa pissing in the middle of a mall in Phoenix, like that's not going down like that.
It's not.
It's not going down like that. Santa pulling out the bottle. This nigga stumbled. He came super late, no beard, stumbled into a donkey, started beating the donkey up, and it wasn't even real. That shit's silly as hell to me.
Hey, what's going on here?
It's hilarious. It's a hilarious movie.
Where's the security?
It's a bunch of
episode. What's going on?
You know what else? You know what else this reminds me of, in a sense? It's not supposed to make sense. It's a silly movie, like I said. Shout out to Brian. Brian was on an episode with me when we discussed Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm-hmm.
And when we tell the story about Beverly Hills Cop, if anybody knows about that film, Eddie Murphy pretty much ad-libbed that entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
That movie was Eddie Murphy's doing. Like, there was no real script, to the point where they were rehearsing stuff on the fly right before they shot it. And a lot of it was just ad-libbed, and the actors tried to roll along with Eddie. And a lot of the moments in this film felt like, hey, Billy Bob Thornton, just do your thing, and we're just going to film it and see what happens. Like, it wasn't like intended to be a story. Because even when you get to the ending of this film, the ending doesn't matter. And none of it matters. You're not connected. You don't feel one way or another about these characters.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just want to see some fried shit. And to steal a term from the Higher Learning podcast, I enjoy peak white mess. I enjoy that these are white people, and we got to see peak white nonsense for an hour and a half. That was part of the enjoyability for me in this movie. When he's fried bologna sandwiches, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Because that just means you fried. Like, you were just a fried individual. It has nothing to do with anything. Like, it's all over the place. So I just enjoy the nonsense and the silliness of this film. I think it's a perfect time to go ahead and get into best scenes. Rachel, I'm not calling on you right now. I'm not calling on you yet.
Okay.
I just have a question.
Yes. Do I have anything?
Is this something that me and Portia should be going back, or you want to chime in, or do you have any scenes?
Oh, for sure. I have our intro. But no, I'll just pepper a little conversation.
So all right, so since you have the intro, why don't you kick it off with the intro, and then we'll just kind of take over from there. Rachel, you funny as hell.
So every week, like we do, we start with the intro. We start with the intro. Let me tell you why I wrote it down. For real, not just for consistency's sake, but for consistency's sake. It lets us know who the characters are. It tells us who Willie is. We learn about Marcus, and those are really the only thing.
You are this.
Those are really the only two, but it lets us know exactly what kind of shenanigans we're about to get into for the next hour and 31 minutes.
The longest hour and 31 minutes.
The longest.
Yeah.
The longest hour and 30 minutes is crazy.
How long?
Like more than, and I don't mean to, and I don't mean, Queen of Summer is like way too long. It's like 2 hours and change. And I'm sorry, Portia, to say this. I'm sorry to say this because I know this is your movie. This shit was longer than Kingdom Come, Rachel.
No.
Don't get me started on y'all commentary on Kingdom Come. That's hurt me up. That's hurt me up. I love that movie.
It's funny.
We know. And we're trying to figure out why.
What's wrong?
I would never watch Kingdom Come another day. I will never watch Kingdom Come again in my life.
No!
He ain't gonna last out here in this heat.
That shit, so man.
Right,
get this shit the fuck up out of here.
That was an excellent movie. Y'all not about to do
that. Cedric the Entertainer's List. Come on, man. Stop it. Anyway. When it comes to this film,
I just want to let you know.
I bet you were. A lot of people were. It is what it is. I still don't know how y'all like that movie, but I'm not here to judge. What's that TikTok shit they doing right now?
I listen and don't
judge. I don't have a TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know there's a trend going on, whatever. People want some. Yeah, people want some wild shit. So sometimes, I don't know if y'all do this or anybody out there listening, you might see someone out and about and they look like they have lived better days. Mm-hmm. And you try to wonder, like, what happened? Like, I wonder what happened. I don't know if anybody ever does that. Like, I wonder what happened in their life to how they get to here. Like, how did they get this point? And this the intro reminded me of that. Just seeing somebody, and the first thing I'm thinking, like, how the fuck did your life end up here? Like, what kind of stories do you have to tell? Were you this miserable? And I know you never had dreams of dressing up like Santa. Like, I know that was a part of your, like, hey, it started in 3rd grade when, like, I know this wasn't your life. So how did you actually get here? The kids are on his lap and he don't give a fuck. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese. I'm telling y'all right now, I get it. Like, I used to dress up like the mouse.
Oh, for real?
At Chuck E. Cheese, Coleraine Avenue, Portia. Coleraine Avenue.
They fired me. I should have known you before then. They fired me because my socks wasn't high enough.
That makes sense. You worked in the showroom, didn't you?
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, so I would have to go and do Chucky, right? And when I tell you these badass little kids, because all their parents do is just drop them off, and the employees are babysitters, and there's a wild west. These little kids be coming up punching Chucky. So I used to like give Chucky a hug, and I give him a hug, and I swear on everything. That right arm, I get a hold of that head locking the shit out of him. And the kids will try to like push me off, and I still got him if I finally let him go. These little kids is bad as shit. So it relates a little bit more to me because I understand, man. Fuck these kids. I enjoy certain, I like, you know, I mean, there's certain kids that are cool, but as a majority, as a collective, fuck y'all. And I get it. Fair. And the words of Bernie Mac was in this film, I will fuck a kid up. All right. So these kids was on his lap, really just going in. Like Portia just said, or like Rachel just said, the man pissed himself, which is wild. Hello? But you also get the insight. It kind of sets up the film. You get the insight to what's going on. Are y'all just some weirdos who like to work Santa? But you know, all right, this is a long-term scheme. Our goal is we're gonna pick a new city every year. We're gonna stake the place out. We're gonna do Santa. We're gonna rob the place. We're gonna break the bread, and we're gonna meet up again next December. So it's really important to kind of set up the plot, air quotes, for the actual movie. So that's why I enjoy the intro. Portia, I don't know if you have anything else to add, or if you just want to jump to your next best scene or moment in this film, because there's a lot of moments versus scenes in this film as well.
Yeah, I
you covered the intro pretty much. We could jump to the best scene.
Let's go.
All right, then, got you. What's your next scene? And we try to do it in order. So if you say something and it's ahead of my next scene, then I'm just gonna backpedal a little bit. So you can either go if you have something, or I can list mine off and we can all just have the conversation.
There you go, host.
The next scene, and this is one of the I ain't gonna hold you. I was watching some of this on my phone at work today, and when I tell you I was getting weak, and coworkers were looking at me like, "What's so funny?" and really not understanding why I was so weak. This scene when Willie's on Miami Beach, all right, because the film does a great job of telling us, like, Willie look like, I bet, you know what? Maybe I'll go to Florida, open one of those bars on the beach, start a business, get a place, get a car, whatever the case is, right? He turns down the drinks from the bartender. So it looks like, I'm turning the wagon. So you flash forward and you see Willie behind the bar, like, oh shit, Willie doing it. This nigga.
You think he an entrepreneur?
You think this nigga really getting it? And it looked like he worked there. This nigga. You know how bold you got to be to go behind the bar and casually not look like shit. Listen, he had no care. There was no rush. He did not care.
None.
That nigga was pouring his drink. The dude came back, say, asshole, what I tell you about that? That nigga, instead of like trying to dip, he looked that man dead in his eyes, took the drink to the head and said, fuck you. Like, what?
The way he was pouring it, you would think that he would have been trying to hurry up and make that drink, but it was so laissez-faire. It was so casual, like, oh yeah, like he really was doing it for a customer.
Yeah, that's a privilege. He was never drunk enough to forget the privilege. No, homie just went back there and was whipping up drinks. Okay,
that's it.
And the subtle funny part is that the bartender comes back. What I tell you about this was lets us know he's been doing this shit.
You're not new to this. You true to this.
Been doing
this shit. And then, Portia, you just alluded to it. One of my favorite low-key movie scenes ever that has nothing to do with nothing. I don't care how many times I watch this scene, I get weak. when that motherfucking alarm goes off and he can't get it to turn off and he just goes crazy. That nigga took that because shout out to back in the day. If you had one of those alarms, like one of those little at the press, that nigga grabbed it, yanked it out, and just for no reason, just goes 0 to 100. Throws them all, fuck you, and takes 3 bottles.
Quick.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then there's one bottle that's been there who knows how long, and he finishes it off. Like, bro, you
gotta top it off.
Not
relatable content, not the drinking, but just not wanting to get up.
Oh. See, I was gonna shoot y'all some. Bella be like, I understand. Sometimes you got to finish your drink in the morning.
I've been there.
Right.
I've been there. I've been there. Like, oh shit.
If it was a little early, I'm with you.
That too.
I'm old.
That too. But if something is go to sleep on that nightstand besides that water, it's getting finished as well.
Straight up, man. It be like that sometimes.
Not okay.
And in that same scene, we get those voicemails that are also confirming the fact that this nigga got in an accident and lied about his insurance information and got this woman chasing him. That's just funny. That's just something that Willie would do.
Yeah.
Like
I just want to know, what did he blow the money on to where he can't pay the bills?
What you think he blew? All right, Portia.
That was a lot of money, fam.
Portia, what do you think he blew the money on? So first, here's the funny part to me, right? We know that they made $111,000 in one night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a piece. I don't know if they split that. If it's a piece, it's even worse because you're not going to Miami for the next 11 months and think that you're going to live off of that 50 grand with the plans that you have. You can do it, but Willie is on too much trash to properly manage his money. True. There's no way in the world that I can see that happening. And Marcus told him, bro, you're going to be hoping I'll call you next year.
He did.
He was right.
And he was right there.
Yeah, so Willie, and you said what he spent his money on. What you think, man? Well,
I mean, you're
maybe
right.
maybe not booze, because he was getting it for free, obviously.
He was getting hookers and stuff too. He was living life.
He probably paid for so many women.
Yeah. He definitely had the prostitutes.
He definitely had them, the working girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. He probably drank more than he ate.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. He was living on Burger King and corn dogs. He's just a creep, man. He's so weird. Yeah, he's just a creep. He's just a creep, man. So he gets that phone call, and obviously, I mentioned earlier too, as far as the gist, we find out that Willie cracks safe. That's his skill in life. He knows how to crack safes. So that's why he's important to the whole thing. Fake insurance was nasty, the whole 9. So we get another scene. Marcus called, said we're going to Phoenix this time. They in the new Phoenix Mall. Kids on the lap again. That little kid sneezed in his face.
But when you have reacted the same, that's all I'm saying.
Nigga said, hey, he said, I don't give a shit what you want. Fuck off my lap, bro. What you doing? You sneezed in my face. The whole line shut down.
That's Santa done for the day. We have to take a hiatus.
Santa done for the day.
To go feed the reindeer, whatever the fuck that sign said. You your sick ass kid? Are you crazy? I've got to go get this shit off my face.
And you eat ice cream.
The whole shift with ice cream on the beard.
And you know he didn't wash that soup, so you know it's pissy.
He didn't wash himself.
Fact.
He didn't wash himself. So he's irritated with all these kids on his lap and stuff like that. The one kid this always gets me weak. He asked kid what he wants. Nigga said Fraggle stick cars. The fuck is that? And that's part of why this movie's so funny. Because I'm picturing myself. It's almost like you get to a point and you hear the new generation music, and you never understood why your parents was on that when you was like in your high school days. Mm-hmm. And now you hear some of this shit, and the first thing you think, what the fuck is this? What is that? What the fuck is this shit you got listening to? That's the same thing Reaction had. Fraggle stick. What the fuck is that, man? Marcus, come get this kid before he pisses on me. Don't fuck with my beard. The whole 9. There are so many quotables just in that scene. So that's another funny one. But of course, Willie takes. We don't know his name is Thurman Merman at this time. But Willie takes this kid home and realizes this might be the lick of the century.
Bruh.
I want to talk about something real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about something that's insane to me. Okay, the same way Rachel mentioned, it's insane that nobody called the cops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much of a criminal I am. There's not 1 second I would feel. It's like I'm always going to be thinking somebody's coming home. Like to be that comfortable. To stay at his crib. I don't give a fuck. Look at Thurman, man. I don't care what Thurman talking about. Thurman don't know what's up.
But he do.
He does what you wouldn't think.
Thurman made it to the mall by himself.
Did you see what Thurman had on? Thurman is by himself. Thurman looked like his situation.
Thurman looked like what he going through.
Thurman was taking a bus. That young taking a bus.
Not even a school bus. He was taking a real city bus.
Thurman was walking with juice boxes being thrown in his head, didn't flinch. Okay.
And then
Thurman looked like what he going through.
Unbothered. So yeah, and Thurman didn't even have the wherewithal to recognize Santa as a fucking stranger. Even though he knows he doesn't look like Santa, we know he's a little off. Okay, mall Santa, but to the point where I want to be in close proximity with you.
Mm-hmm.
That is, in fact, the lick of the century. Once I seen fucking Granny, it's up. I would have done the same thing. Are you crazy?
Granny, are you spry?
Are you spry? This
Are
fucking big house, this nice neighborhood.
So, question: do you think that he did? Like, do you think that he thought that was Santa from the beginning?
In the lowest of keys at the beginning. I think that maybe he sort of came to the more he was at the house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I was thinking about that rewatching it. Like, I wonder if he knew, if he just was lonely and went with it.
Maybe
two things could be true.
Two things can definitely be true.
Two things can be true. I just love Willie's that realization when he hits the hold on.
It's your show.
Nobody else is here.
When he hit that mask, he said, "Oh, let me get him in here."
Does your dad have a safe?
It was a ski mask.
Yeah. You need that money to fix your sleigh? Something like that. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
How did Thurman know the code to? Oh, he's a safe picker. I was gonna say, how the fuck did Thurman know the code?
Yeah. He said, "Man, I just need the safe. It's all good." And he took the whip. He took the BMW.
Bruh.
Said, "I'm out. I'm out." And he had no intention. You know what's crazy? Obviously, we've seen the movie, so we know how it goes. But at that time, he had no intention of ever coming back ever again.
He was out. He was out of there. He was out of there.
I'm about to rob these niggas, and I'm gone. I'm gone, man. So we go to my next favorite scene. Bob Chapesca, who's the mall general manager, he catches Willie in the ladies' dressing room.
Bruh. Fucking the
big getting active.
In the big and tall section.
In the big and tall section, right? Getting after it. I just want to highlight the expression acting in this scene. The expression acting is by John Ritter is Chef's Kiss. Mm-hmm. Just that, like, I hear some shit. I know I ain't hearing what I think I hear. And then getting louder and getting closer. And one of the, like I said, a lot of subtle comedy in this movie. He was so stunned that he dropped his papers. Mm-hmm. And you could tell Willie clearly saw that somebody was right there. Did not give a fuck.
Did not care.
You're not gonna shit right for a week. You're not gonna shit right for a week is a crazy ass line to tell someone in the middle. Admit that shit. Admit that shit. Man. Come on, man. Hey, yo. What's really wild, I'm moving right past that. What's really wild is that when he called them in his office, he tried to play dumb and had the nerve to say, "Did one of you fornicate with a heavy-set woman in the big and tall dressing room?" What do you mean, did one of us? You knew good and damn well it wasn't Marcus. You would have seen his ass.
You need some plausible. You gotta ease it.
So why? So not taking it. Low hanging fruit. Not taking it. But you stop playing with me.
Okay,
stop playing with me, bro. No, not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Bob Chapesca.
I was about to say that real.
No. Marcus. If I'm Marcus in that situation, stop playing with me.
Yeah.
You know I'm 3'3". You know good and damn well you would have known if that was me. So don't ask if one of us. Nigga, you know it wasn't me. Stop fucking playing.
But he was pussy, so I'm not gonna come
this,
out right.
This is after the fuck stick part?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, we gotta talk. Go ahead, Portia. Talk about it.
Oh, no, the way that he comes at him. What's his real name?
Who,
the
Willie?
actor? What's the actor's real name?
John Ritter?
John Ritter.
The way he comes at John Ritter, like off the gate, and he has no idea what to do. I said, oh, this is my type of movie. Like, and it just set the scene for where you're at, to where it's like, yo, he hold him from the beginning. Do not play with me.
Mm-hmm.
But
he was nervous.
Here's what makes that funny, Portia. Because there's multiple times in this movie where Willie misinterprets what someone's saying, or he's not paying attention and catches a certain part. Because remember, when he met him, Marcus was doing all the talking. Willie seen old girl with the pants and was lost. He was looking at her ass, and all he heard was affect your performance. And the meal was like, hold on, what you mean? A performance like sexual? So imagine being John Ritter's character, and you looking like, what the fuck is you talking about? Sexual?
I don't even know what to say to this man.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that man. I got the quote written down. He said performance like sexual. Are you saying there's something wrong with my gear? Is that what you're trying to say to me? Your gear, my fuck stick.
So fuck
wrong, my fuck stick.
He said he's not gonna say fuck stick in front of the kids. Is he? No, it's for adults. It's a joke for us adults.
So
you get
stupid,
it?
Man.
This shit is so stupid that it's funny.
Yeah.
And even later in the film, there's another moment in the film where he does something like that with Sue, the girl that he hitting. She was like, do you like kids? He said, fuck no. You think I'm some kind of pervert? She was like, I mean, because you Santa. Like, I ain't talking about like really like kids. And it's just that nigga turns up on her shit so quick.
Silly.
Oh, he turned up on her shit so quick. So that shit's hilarious to me. But yeah, the whole going back to the scene where he's trying to fire Willie and Marcus, and they pretty much hit him with the, man, come on, man. He's a black man and he has a handicap or disability, as they called it in the film. Like, you ain't firing him, bro.
Not at all.
You gonna colored African American dwarf. You know what I mean? People gonna be out here with picket signs and all that shit.
And this was back then.
And Portia, like you said, I hold you on our first introduction. So you ain't about to do shit. You ain't firing nobody.
What are you about to do?
That's it.
Yeah, stop playing before we lock this door in this office. You know what I'm saying? Like, we real live criminals. We've been to jail, bro. Like, don't get fucked up around here.
Because to Ray P's point, he could have been escorted out the mall.
Big cameras.
But he got hold, and that's why he was able to keep that job.
My lord.
Yeah. This is more of a moment more than a scene, but I gotta shout it out once again. I talk about those moments where I get weak, and this is another one. That bathtub scene where the kid was just asking him about the reindeer.
That's my favorite part.
As adults, I'm gonna let you get into it, Portia. Just real quick. As adults, we know when we were watching this movie for the first time, we really didn't know what it was like to have a hard ass day. and just wanted to come home and not talk to nobody. Nobody bother me. I'm about to do whatever it is, whatever my routine is to get in my zone. I'm gonna do that, and I don't want to talk to nobody. We had no idea what that was like. As adults watching this, I know what it's like, and to have a kid asking you about reindeer and some shit that don't even exist would have sent me through the roof. Portia, I know you said this is your favorite part. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get into the scene.
My guy is trying to wind down. He is soaking in the tub, towel over face, trying to get real spotlight. And this whole time, this kid is like, "Yo, so where's Miss Santa?" Oh, well, is that the part where he says he fucks Miss Santa Claus's sister?
Yeah, his sister. Yeah, he got kicked out, so he had to stay with him. Mrs. Santa,
he's coming up with all the things, trying to appease this child. And then finally he asked him what them elves' names was. He was like, "Oh no, that's the 7 dwarves." He was, "Fam, are you fucking with me?" And I'm like, that's it. That's it. This is my favorite movie. This is my favorite, one of my favorite Christmas movies right there. Because the little boy just looking like, okay.
Yeah, well, he still doesn't even acknowledge that he's mad. He's just gonna keep asking him questions, and it's the build up, Portia. It's the buildup, because we've all been there to where you about to snap, but you ain't all the way there yet. But now you just got me irritated, and it's about to turn up because he asked him about him, and he said, "Nah, those are 7 drawers." He said, "I don't know, fuck kid. I just call him, hey bub or chief. I just tell them to make the damn toy, man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Are you fucking with
me?" Him trying to make up a story. The fact that this is all fictional. The fact that he really doesn't even do this and he's making this all up on the spot. I don't know. I call him bub or chief. Like, why the fuck you ask me this? That shit is hilarious to me because, bro, get the fuck out of this room talking to me about these questions. Get out of here.
I'm trying to chill. Period.
Once again, another scene similar to it. Don't fuck with my lunch break. Willie's in the mall. Willie's trying to enjoy his little 30-minute break in the food court. That woman came up talking about can you take a picture? Go ahead.
Now, see, here I felt Willie.
100%.
Here I feel you. 2 things can be true. First off, ain't you supposed to come up out that suit for this very reason once you just regularly in the mall? Like, I would feel like chill the fuck out. But fucking Maybelle, her son wasn't even worried about Santa. She was the one, you the adult, pulling your child over here to disrupt Santa on his lunch break. I feel him for snapping. I ain't gonna hold you.
And she know what that man looked like. She know that man wasn't no right Santa.
That's it.
You know that.
This
so
is a
good for him.
What are we talking about here?
But Willie be so gone. Half the sandwich came out his mouth while he was cussing her out. He don't care. He's so nasty, man.
At all.
He's so nasty.
Hey, have that shit hit the floor, man. He didn't give a fuck. Bring the fuck out my face. Hey, man, he snapped her and shit. He put a Anthony Mackie and said, "Get out of here, no pictures." Hey, she said management's gonna hear about that. Oh, you think that's a threat? You think you make my life any worse? Then you go right ahead. Take your fucking shot. That's a man who's been defeated and beat down.
Crazy.
You think I give
and
a
I'm
fuck
not
about you
getting fired because I just hold the manager. So go ahead if you want to.
That's it.
Yeah. I always think that's funny. When you see grown people doing shit like that, like, bro, you think I give a fuck about this Santa job? Think I give a fuck about being the Easter Bunny? You think you saying something? Go tell somebody. I don't give a fuck.
I love a crash out.
You know what I'm saying?
A good crash out is always.
I get paid $10 an hour to get sneezed on, man. I don't give a fuck about this job.
Absolutely not.
Your little snotty nose son want to pay. And you want, like you said, like y'all perfectly said, your son don't even want this shit. You want this shit.
You're the one.
And you can go stand in line when he off break.
I'm on my way back. I will see you in 7.
Hey, man. Take your fucking shot, man. I don't give a fuck. My life is fucked up, woman. You ain't doing nothing for me. My life is fucked up. Real quick, Bernie Mac snatching that kid's MP3 just because he stole it, like straight up just jacking.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take this shit.
Care about your grandma giving you no damn MP3. Give it here.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a question for you, Rich.
Yeah.
That other Bernie Mac scene where he is smoking the shit out of that cigarette.
My God.
And peeling that orange and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What is the point to this day? Never understood when he says, bitch, fucking broad. What was that?
I don't know. I have no idea what that is.
It's like truly out of context. And I'm like, did I miss something? Every time I hear that, I'm like, what did I miss?
So you know what it feels like? You know what it feels like? It feels like I think they had a lot of internal fun with the movie. When I say they, I mean like the director. I think there were just certain things that he was at. They reached a certain point where he was like, "This is not a serious movie."
Yeah.
Shout out to Logan Roy. Shout out to Logan Roy. You're not serious people.
Serious people.
He reached a point where it's not a serious movie, and he had comedians, and he just let them ad lib. And I just think he picked something that he thought was funny, and just put it in there. Because who the fuck cares? I'm just gonna throw it in here. It doesn't matter if it's a sequence because this movie makes no sense anyway. So I'm just gonna do some shit that I think is funny. I really think that's what happened.
Okay, I was
there's a line in this movie when Marcus, Santa's helper, he looks at Willie and says, "I don't think you should be digging in your ass like that."
Again,
that was
police.
That was 1,000% an ad lib line. And the director thought it was so funny. Like, he even said, I think on the commentary, he mentioned that line was so funny. Like, in the middle of the night, I would just bust out laughing thinking about it because it was so sincere. And nigga looked at it and I was like, I don't think you should be digging your ass like that. Like, what the fuck is you on? Shout out to Marcus though. Marcus is the real MVP. Could you imagine the person being in charge of Willie?
Bruh, absolutely not. They were. I'm done with the shit.
I don't know where the Craigslist is for criminals, but I'm finding a safe cracker immediately because he ain't even fat. There's nothing about you that I need. I can already replace you with Santa, bro.
Yeah.
I just need to know how to crack a safe because you're terrible.
But that was a good plan though. In hindsight.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a great plan.
Great plan. Absolutely. If I was a criminal, if I was a criminal, I'd be on the same shit. Especially back in the day before like heightened security and social media, and I can really pull that shit off. 111,000 in a month.
That's what I'm about to say. In the lowest of keys, I'm surprised it didn't inspire some fucking copycats.
Real shit.
Yeah.
Real shit.
Especially back then, huh?
Especially back then.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you work at the mall, you honestly got to keep that on the hush. Because if you get if it's admitted that you lost 111,000 in one night, now you an easy lick. Now everybody's gonna be trying to rob y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of that going on. I'm trying to think of where it must have been a department store safe. And it's funny because if you ever work retail, you know at the end of the night you depositing that money at the bank. Like, there's no cash really left in the store other than the petty cash in the drawer. Or your starting count for the drawer, whatever the case is. So that makes it even more funny. That's neither here nor there. But we talked about snatching the MP3 and telling that little kid Happy Kwanzaa. I just thought that was hilarious. I thought when Thurman Merman cut his hand, not taking that little boy to the hospital is wild.
That deep ass cut.
Oh,
I get it. You can't because you want to run and you a criminal, Willie. But you got to figure out a way to get that kid to the hospital, man.
Yeah.
He poured alcohol on it. He was fine.
I should have said that was gonna sting. Nigga, what?
But that's when you could tell that Willie really started caring about that child, though.
He really did.
It was a heartfelt moment.
For sure.
He really did. And that leads to this next moment, Portia. And this is fucked up because I don't like bullies. I don't like bullying or anything like that. But the way his underwear were to his nipples. People would have all said it, man. I'm like, hey, man, I understand. And there's something funny. I know it's fucked up once again. It's funny about a grown-ass man just fucking up this kid. I don't know how old that oldest teen was, but he wasn't a legal adult.
No, but too old to be fucking with Thurman, the little ass.
Too old to be fucking with Thurman, but also too young to be getting beat up by Willie's grown ass. That nigga, it wasn't like...
I guess the auntie / godmama and me.
Listen,
I'm fighting some kids. Don't come mess with my babies now.
That's what makes it funny. That's what makes it funny because it wasn't normally in these type of moments when a movie tries to be funny and shows an adult with a kid. It's something subtle. I mentioned like the Chuck E. Cheese, little quick headlock, just a little maybe take off the belt like Baby Boy. No, this nigga was throwing haymakers in this nigga face. Like, bro, I'm about to fuck you up, man. I don't give a fuck about none of that kid shit. That shit fried. Because imagine, hold on, talk about that. Imagine right now, driving and you in a parking lot of a plaza somewhere and you see this, you see a nigga just like, yo, what the fuck is
phone is coming out
again?
Phone's gotta come out. Because what am I seeing?
He deserved all that though.
He did. All them kids did.
Matter of fact, this whole movie is a walking example of imagine just walking through the mall and seeing Santa piss. Or seeing Santa drunk and fall. Like, all of this is so fried that I wish I saw some shit like this. Because I'd be weak.
Only in dressing rooms.
What you say, Rachel?
Only if I'm not sober. If I'm sober, somebody is getting hard. But if I'm not, I'm weak as fuck.
Super weak. Because this shit is all fried. Like, what y'all got going on in this mall, man? Who's running this place? And then really, and Portia, you can cut me off if there's anything else. Once again, this movie's silly as hell. So it's a bunch of random moments, but you can tell they didn't have a real ending.
Yeah.
Like, the ending made no sense. Santa got lit up 8 times and survived.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You saw the plot to obviously they lazily killed Bernie Mac's character. Marcus was gonna try to take the whole thing for himself. There's another fucked up scene with Willie trying to off himself in the garage.
That shit is crazy.
And gave Thurman that letter, and Thurman ended up mailing it, and that's what ended up saving him in the long run, which is kind of crazy.
You know,
go ahead, Portia.
Now that y'all say like it didn't really have a plot or whatever, do you know this whole time, all these years, I really thought it had a plot in the storyline.
No, this movie is just nonsense.
Because essentially it did have an ending. Like everybody was trying to rob.
Everybody was happily ever
after. People died. Police came. The kids saved them. He gave them a pink elephant. So connection. It was a good movie. Don't do
that. But here's the thing. This was that era, 03, 04, 02. You made these type of movies. They don't make these type of movies anymore.
Yeah.
90 minutes, nonsense, doesn't make sense. Cool. Like, whatever, man. We're going to get in and out, and it's still hilarious all these years later. It is a funny movie. But even the ending, like,
part was definitely the most random. But I guess it wasn't that random because it bring him and the kid together a little bit. In that middle part.
Which part?
When they're, when he was doing the girl, the fuck me Santa, that scene. And then the guy comes and tries to rape Santa because he's not an elf fucker. Or he was calling Santa the elf fucker.
Right. Yeah.
It was trying to get like the kid kind of. But at first, like off first look, I'm like, that is random as hell.
And you know what's
follow him around to the bar.
Like it got weird. But the kid helped him. You know what I'm saying?
He did. That was the turn. That was the turn in their relationship. You know what I feel?
And on some real shit, I would have been on the same shit he was on. Like, as soon as I scan the bar and you see this dude just staring at you, what the fuck is up with you, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, man? Stop that shit. And that scene was low key. Not low key. That shit was high key racist. That nigga said, "Hey, my brother lost an arm killing these people like you and Nam." I'm like, damn, bro, he ain't even Vietnamese.
Like, and that was the crazy part to me. I'm like, what the fuck do you think this nigga is?
I love a good bad racist joke.
In the
because he meant that shit. I love it. Listen, I always tell people, man, and it could be me. I'm fucked up. There's something funny about some racism. Every now and then, you get some funny racism, and that shit just you ain't supposed to laugh, but it's like, all right, man, y'all niggas got that one.
Sometimes shit just be silly.
Sometimes you gotta laugh. It's so what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. You can't believe you're in such shock.
Yeah, in disbelief.
Like you were such disbelief that it's funny. Like your natural reaction is to laugh. Like, damn, you that racist? Fuck. Like I didn't even know that shit was possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? The audacity of the shit. Yeah, that nigga said, hey, and he meant that shit. Like, he lost my arm. Like, bro, what do you think I am? If I was him, I would have laughed. Like, bro, what the fuck you think I'm Vietnamese? There's nothing about me that looks like I'm Vietnamese.
Nothing. One other scene that I had was the shakedown at the restaurant with Jim, because even though Marcus had been checking Willie all movie, this was the first time I was like, oh, he's been sick of that nigga. Like, he's been sick of Willie shit. And just shout out to Jim for not coming up off his 50%. Like, nigga, no.
Yeah, man. And terrible negotiation.
Horrible. But I guess if your plan is to always cut him out and kill him in the first place, then whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta make it look.
Yeah, I think he would have been, if had Willie been on his shit, it would have been cool. But he knew, like, I can't do this with you no more. We knew it the first Christmas, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
He told him, man, you fucking up, man. I remember you can unlock a safe in no time. Now you getting slower. And he threatened at that point, like, man, I can get another person in here. It ain't no thing. But like I said, the ending of the film is just kind of, it makes sense. It ties it up well to where you're not like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. But it's also just like, all right, man, you only in the hospital because the letter saved you. The girl you was hitting gets to stay and take care of Thurman.
Crazy.
Grandma's still there making sandwiches.
Yeah, he got a family. See how that's a lovely Christmas ending.
Happy ending for the kid, and you want that for Thurman, man. You feel because Thurman, he that kid that's so nice. Yeah, like, and he's so nice that he ain't even standing up. Like Portia said, man, you getting juice boxes thrown at you, and you just like keeping it pushing, like on some Forrest Gump shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You finally stick up for yourself at the end, kick the kid in the nuts.
And Thurman kind of had a part of my heart too, because the scene where he asked Santa, like, did you give me a gift? And he was like, I'm not Santa. And he was like, well, I just thought you would give me a gift because
we're friends.
And I was like,
and he cut his hand trying to make a gift for Santa, wooden pickle.
Yeah, what was the significance of that?
I think he was just fried. That's the only thing he could do. Like, what? Yeah. There is no significance.
I want to know why you think this is some shit that I would want.
You know how kids ain't
just with a woman who just makes sandwiches all day.
Oh God.
Hold on, time out, man.
They have.
I'm sorry, I didn't bring the scene up. I forgot to because it's fucked up. When they walked in and thought that woman was gone, when they actually moved on to glory.
Oh my God. She was dead like that. Where was her breath?
Yeah.
Hey, you know, relieved out of bed.
I don't see how you not chuckling. How was this a long hour and 31?
This shit's so fried. This shit is fried.
I'm weak at how weak y'all are.
Like to this day, rewatched it today and yesterday and was chuckling.
You know what? I just thought about it. This reminded me of what's the movie with Kevin Hart, Josh Gad, and Cloris Leachman.
The wedding, the wedding. My best friend, Wedding Ringer. Yeah, Wedding Ringer.
Where she was damn near fried to death when Kevin set her on fire, and she was dead, open mouth agape, looking just fucking like this. Foreshadowing. Cloris low-key always play the same kind of fried character.
The fact that y'all know these people's names like this is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
So did you like that movie with Kevin Hart though?
Do I like the rigor? It is
like
so stupid. I love it.
Okay.
Ain't that ironic? Because she said it. So Wedding Ringer is actually a funny movie, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rachel just said it's so stupid. What do you think this is, Rachel?
Oh, it's very stupid.
It's very stupid. Like it
takes so it's not stupid, it's very stupid. Okay, I see where we're going with that.
It's very stupid. I'm chuckling. I said I laughed.
All right, man. We gonna move on. Portia, do you have any best quotes written down? I know we said a lot of them this episode, but do you have any best quotes that you want to?
I think I got mine out. For the most part.
Rachel, did you have any best quotes?
Yeah. So a fuck stick. That's it.
No, yeah. When Bernie Mac said that shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac, because he was really sitting there like, bro, what you complaining?
What are we doing?
Why your grown ass in here complaining about another grown man?
That part. Cussing.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask, who was talking about plot earlier, before Jim Bernie Mac came on the scene and tried to finagle his way into the scam, do y'all think that he knew as soon as they came in that they were some scammers, that it was some bullshit?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why he was smoking that cigarette and letting him get that off so long. Okay. Yeah.
And he saw, and on top of that, he saw the play for himself. So that way, when what was his name? Bob, the building dude, or Bob Chapeska. That's because when he came back and tried to find some information, he's like, man, he ain't even got a parking ticket, man. He cool. Because he already knew I'm not giving him up to you because I'm about to shake them down for this hat.
Right. But that's after he had did sort of the background check on the license plate. That's after he had ran the plate and went to the jail to see Thurman Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Even at the very first, when we first meet Bernie, he was so disengaged. And I was like, is this just a nigga not giving a fuck about this silly ass job? Or does he low-key know that it's some bullshit afoot with these two people?
Now that you say it, I'm gonna go with he knew.
I think he found out once Bob Chapeska brought it to his attention that these dudes might be shady. All right, I'm head of security. You could tell he takes his job seriously.
Yeah.
Like he's more of a PI than like mall security. He's like, all right, let me see what's going on with him. Probably not thinking nothing of it. Then realizes, all right, these dudes got a little bit of a record. He probably got a ton of connections, and they probably said, you know, they got different aliases because that's how you found out who they were. So I don't think he saw them and thought it was. I think if Bob Chapesca never said nothing, he probably would have eventually figured it out because, bro, why is Santa pissing on the kids? Like, so at some point, it would have caught his attention.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the kid stealing. Like, bro, where'd you come from? How'd you know I was stealing?
Yeah, so you
like, he just
pissing and digging in his ass.
You should be digging in your ass like that.
In front of these kids. What is going
on? Period. This don't matter. Don't matter. The fuck the kids, man. You should be digging in your ass like that. You can stop the sentence there. Wherever you are in time, like
have a different bathing standards. So
oh man. And if y'all ever look at that scene, the look, not even Willie, Billy Bob Thornton, because like I said, that was an ad lib line. The look that nigga gave him was also like, oh shit. All right, best quotes. I talked about the performance, the fuck stick lines. One of my favorite quotes in this film is when he first meets the chick that he ends up having sex with, the fucking Santa girl. And she said, "You got a name?" He said, "Yeah." And just left it at that. Nigga did. God, hey, yeah.
What's wrong with this nigga?
Hey, something wrong with dude off rip. You ain't gonna shit right for a week. What is it with you and fixing fucking sandwiches? He was talking to Marcus. Willie was talking to Marcus about grandma. Every now and then she gets up and plays soccer with her tits. And then I already said you probably shouldn't be digging in your ass. Those are my quotes, and there's a ton of other that we already mentioned throughout the episode.
Definitely.
Rachel, did you have a scene stealer?
John Ritter.
Portia?
I'm gonna go with the kids.
The bully?
Thurman Merman?
No, like truly when he was doing like when they were in line and asking for something.
I like that.
Like I'm gonna go with the kids. Too. Yeah.
I like that. I went with John Ritter as well. It felt so weird not to give it to Bernie Mac.
Yeah, I got them both. Really, John
I've seen Bernie Mac so much funnier in other things, and not to his credit fault. I just think the movie didn't give him a ton to do.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, hey, you're Bernie Mac. Let's just throw you in the movie. You be funny for a little bit, and that's it. But John Ritter, just because he played like the unsuspecting square, just his expression acting, just that like, bro, get your grown ass. Like, why are you worried about this dude cussing? That was just funny for me. Things that bother you. Anything in this film, Rachel? How much time you got? But things that bother you in this film, in the sense of what this film is.
And it's so for real. Honestly, just the pissing. Like I can't come up off it because that is such a drunk ass thing to be doing. Is pissing on yourself in public in the middle of the day, not even like at night in the car by yourself, like in public.
And you know what else is fried, Rachel?
What?
Most reasonable people, if you're in a situation like that, you at least got some urgency to you. Like the man was just sitting there, sitting in it, just chilling.
Just sitting in
I'm
it.
just gonna let it flow.
So you in a stupor.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, some shit is afoot. But and I don't know. It really made me think, but this is so petty and stupid, y'all. Did y'all see Bernie Mac's teeth?
I think they did that for the character.
I know they did, but I know that they was like honing in on him chain smoking these cigarettes.
Yeah,
really, really bothering me because I don't need to see tooth decay.
I also don't understand why they made his character like alluded to him being constipated. The stool softener, him eating the oranges. Like, what was the purpose of that? I didn't get it.
No, it has to be on the cutting room floor. So I think that was it more than anything. Bernie Mac's teeth and the pissing.
That's fair. The only thing that bothered me is they really tried to pass off South Beach. They were filming in Long Beach and said it was South Beach. Like, bro, if you've ever been to South Beach, you know good and damn well that is not South Beach.
Yeah.
That's more of it's a very small petty thing, but that's the one thing that bothered me, like when they flash forward, like, all right, at least like try to show more beach. So we clearly don't see that y'all in California, but it is what it is. There was no come see about me moment unless there was, Rachel.
No.
Any actors from The Wire? No, there were not. Wouldn't let that happen to me. Is there anything in this film that you're looking like wouldn't let that shit happen to me at all?
All of it.
Portia says all of it. Huh. I'm not fucking saying that he don't tell me his name.
I mean, she got a thing.
I don't know, but if you like the
to keep doing it,
I mean, it's a cosplay community.
Oh, you know what? You're right. She never did know his name, did she?
She never knew his name, and he never knew hers.
That's how it works.
What?
That's how it works now.
I think that might be the perfect relationship.
Things can happen on the first night. Whatever. Everybody's gone home from a bar and got home. However they got home, whenever they got home. But to continue to fuck with somebody, and like, hey. What the fuck? Not
even on no like duck in, duck out, late night creep shit on some like I'm about to help you decorate Christmas. It was kicking it.
You are bonding.
I think the only thing that you wouldn't have me do, you're not just gonna come up in my house, fam. Like, why are y'all leaving y'all kids? Why Granny ain't got? I know they had cameras back then. Did we have cameras?
We did.
Okay, so like
it was cameras.
Where was the surveillance? But other than
you would think, dude, the dad was locked up for some white. The dad was locked up for white collar crime, which lets me know it wasn't like they just scooped him up. The feds ain't just do a sweep. He knew he was going to jail.
Yep,
he had time to get his arrangements in order. So it is weird. You didn't have anybody, or maybe he thought at the time grandma was fully capable.
Yeah, maybe she took a turn.
Yeah. Okay.
What I can think of. Thurman was out here fucked up, man. Thurman was out here fucked up.
Them shorts, the way they gapped up in the back.
Sandals, everything. Everything about it.
Here.
Trivia. So, the character that we just talked about earlier, the one that was trying to, calling Santa elf fucker and all that, he also played in Office Space. He called Santa an ass clown in this movie. In an Office Space, there's a famous moment where Michael Bolton calls the other Michael Bolton a no talent having ass clown. I just love Office Space, so I wanted to put that reference together. We also have the mall parking lot. So that mall parking lot, it looks familiar to you, if you've ever seen the movie Jackie Brown.
Yes.
That is the same parking lot where somebody gets shot. I'm not going to give out a spoiler of who does what. But there's a moment where Robert De Niro's character shoots someone. And that is the same exact parking lot.
Oh, wow.
Where?
Yep, same exact parking lot they used. So, yeah, that is the same thing. Billy Bob Thornton met his wife on set.
He married?
Who is his wife?
He is married. His wife is not in the movie. She worked production.
Oh,
okay.
In the production crew, she's worked like special effects and Men in Black and all that. He met his wife on set in 2002. They got married in 2014.
Ain't no way.
I see you.
Did you say 2002 and got married in 2014?
He was on Magic Johnson.
They got a kid, and they think they say Magic Johnson, man. That nigga was out here wild. Yeah, they got a kid together, and I believe they're still together, if I'm not mistaken.
Bless them.
Bless them.
Yeah, so they got together, and they met in 2002, began a relationship in 2003, and got married October 22nd, 2014. Man. Shout out to making it work. Shout out to making it happen. Hey, Portia's stupid.
Shit.
Oh man. Last thing, obviously, we got to make the connection to the classic film of the culture. Got Bernie Mac and Tony Cox, who both played in the film Friday. Mr. Parker, and I also had an altercation in that film as well.
They did.
Classic moment, man.
Lord is he know what I want.
I think that pretty much wraps this up. So we're gonna get to the end of the episode where we rate the film. Rachel, we're gonna start with you. The average viewer rates Bad Santa 7 out of 10.
Hey,
Rachel,
I'm an average viewer.
Rachel, is that too high, too low, just right?
I'm gonna say too high, 6.8.
What the now fuck? That petty. 0.2? Yeah, that's big petty.
Now you being petty.
I'm being generous because really.
Okay, what's your real? A 5?
I laughed.
I laughed.
Portia, too high, too low, just right.
I personally would give it a 7.5 or 8 for what it is.
Which one you going with? This is official rating. This is gonna go down in history.
7.5.
You can do 7.5. I'm at a 7. I think it's just right.
Okay.
And actually, I do want to tip my hat to this film. Like, for it to be as dumb as it is, and for me to enjoy it as much as I do, I think that says something. This movie has no business being this funny and still being relevant all these years later. This should have been a throwaway, one of those like, dude, where's my car moments.
Said it is for her. Okay.
I'm not fucking with you, Ray P. Lastly, a rose, a garden, or excuse me, a rose, a bouquet, or the whole damn garden. Rachel, what does it get?
Rose.
Portia?
I'm gonna give it a bouquet.
I'm giving it a bouquet. I gotta give it a bouquet, man, for sure. This is up there. This is a favorite. I'm gonna probably watch scenes from this again and get weak all over again. This shit is hilarious.
It's definitely, if you're having a bad day, or if you just want something in the background so you can look up and chuckle every so often, I support a bad Santa throw in.
I'm gonna put on the Cosby Show.
Right.
That's my favorite show.
Oh, okay, I'll wait.
Well,
I'll wait.
I watch it every day.
What a nah. Hey, listen.
Okay. You strike me as more of a living single.
I watch that too. But
Okay.
TV1 at 6:00.
Oh, so you just okay, but you ain't searching for it. It's just on.
No, it's just on.
Okay,
but sometimes, depending on my mood, I will go look for it.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Cosby Show, man. Shout out to the Huxtables. Listen, this was fun. I love talking about silly, stupid, good movies. It's definitely a good, bad movie. I enjoyed it. It couldn't perfect way to end 2024. Portia, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
Thank you for rocking with us. We will have you back for sure. I can't wait to do a movie where like Rachel actually likes.
The ones Rachel like, I just but just like you caught me, I gotta catch y'all on film with this, because I have listened to the Culture Garden. Like I said, I'm not a movie buff. I have opinions about the ones that I have, though.
Yes.
And I've heard you all's opinions, and you guys like a lot of movies that I have questions about. Ooh. So I definitely would like y'all to be on the frequency.
Yes.
Perfect.
So that we can discuss a certain topic that I have when it comes to Black people and movies that we watch, and the content and the acting.
Okay.
So
say less. No.
I need y'all on
you only gotta ask us once.
Okay.
We'll be honored. Happy that the frequency is back. Frequency part 2.
Yes.
Like I said, by the time you're listening to this episode would have been released, or Portia's episode would have been released. So we will put the link on our page. Just check that out for the story. Excited, of course, man. Excited for the comeback. And obviously, given that it's the end of the year, we'll probably do one more very, very small episode. But we've got a lot of stuff coming between Culture Guard, between We Got Y'all, between the other platforms. A lot of cool stuff happening at the very beginning of 2025. We can't wait to talk to you more about it. We can't wait to get back in the swing of things with this. And also, like I said, We Got Y'all is going to be busy. It's been another great year. We reached episode 100 this year. A lot of cool things. We're going to talk more about it, like I said, in our very brief end of year episode, just to kind of recap 2024. But can't do any of this without you. We appreciate you. Rachel, any last words?
No, thank y'all for listening to our random meanderings. We love y'all. Happy holidays. Happy Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah.
Boxing Day.
Whatever else?
Yeah, all of that.
December?
I think that, I don't know. Shout out to the Brits.
Rosh Hashanah.
Shout out to the people across the pond. I still gotta perfect my British accent, but
nope. Thank y'all for listening. We love y'all. Portia, we absolutely fucking love you. We cannot wait
to y'all back.
Coming down the pipeline on the frequency. Part 2 of them things. We love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share to all of these platforms. We love y'all.
Absolutely, man. Peace and love to everybody in the New Year's. Yeah, man. Peace and love to everybody in the New Year. Plenty of blessings. It's up for everyone. Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool?
Peace out.